Hey guys, Michael Ever here with True Trading Group. With this video, I'm going to show you how you can lose money and still make the right trade. Yes, you made the right trade and still lost money, and that was actually the right trade to make. Sounds weird with me saying it, but I'm going to show you right now, and this is a very important lesson that I want you guys to take away from today's trading action in TRXC. First things first, stock gaps up today on news. Okay, so it's on everybody's watch list. We talked about it pre-market. We talked about our game plan. Let me take you out to the daily chart. When you go out to the daily chart, you go all the way back here. Okay, this high of this that would put the stock into the gap is $2.56. Okay, the stock was gapping above it this morning. We said I want to look for 250 area to hold support to show us that the stock had enough legs to get up into this gap. Okay, that was our game plan in the morning. So the stock opens up in the morning at $2.63. Where did it open up? Let me see. Opened at 278. Okay, so well above that 256 high. But I said, guys, I expect the stock to pull in and retest the $250 area. Let's wait for that to show us its support before getting involved in the trade. Okay, sure enough, the stock ends up pulling in and finds support right here. The time the low was $2.41, and then it pushed back up. Okay, then the stock pulls back in, and what does it do? It finds support again at that $2.50 area. Once the stock turned the corner, okay, right here, a lot of people started buying this TRXC in this area after that $2.50 area was holding support. Okay, the stock actually turned the corner. That's like a phrase I like to use when the stock turns the corner, and pushed and actually made a new high. This high was 278. The stock went as high as 285. Okay, so it ended up making a new high. This is exactly what you want to see from a stock that gaps up. To the left of this line that I just drew is exactly the setup that you want to see when you're looking to buy this TRXC on the gap up. To see the gap hold support, okay, find support, and then turn the corner, push higher, and make a new high, and continue higher up into that gap. That's the trade setup that you want to see. Now, sometimes it just doesn't work out, guys, and you can see the stock ended up within minutes of making a new high, makes a new low. This is extremely erratic trading action that nobody could have predicted. Okay, if anyone said, oh, well, I knew the stock was going to do that, lying. Okay, sometimes this stuff just happens, and a stock will just have erratic trading action like this for no inherent or reason that I can see, at least. There was no reason that I can see why the stock held support on the initial gap up, turned the corner, pushed, made a brand new high, and then did that. I don't see a reason for it, guys. I just don't, okay? And a lot of people ended up getting stopped out somewhere in this area, okay, when the stock ended up making a brand new low. Now, a lot of people were frustrated throughout the day. Some people in chat ended up buying TRXC when it broke back above 250. There's some people started getting long in this area right here and made a nice little trade. Some people started buying it actually in here as well in chat, and made a nice little trade into the close when the stock ran up and touched $3. Okay, and what I want to talk about with this TRXC, the lesson I want to take away from this is twofold. One, first, never let one trade affect another. Okay, a lot of people that maybe got stopped out in TRXC in the morning did not pull the trigger on this in the afternoon because they were worried they were going to lose again, and they let their trade in the morning affect their decisions later in the afternoon, and that's bad trading. You need to take one trade at a time and not let trades roll over into the next, whether it's a winner or a loser. Unless it's a lesson that you learned that you're taking with you into another trade, that's one thing. But don't let the actual trade affect your decision making later in the day. And that happened to a couple people today. And I want you to try to focus on, I know it's hard to do, but that's why you really have to trade with a clear head and a clean mindset and take one trade at a time, because each trade is different and you need to treat it as its own. Okay, so don't let earlier trades affect your decision making in the afternoon, because it can make you gun shy and miss out on good opportunities in the afternoon because you're scared to take another loss. And that's not good trading. Okay, so that's lesson number one. Lesson number two, if you got stopped out on this, good. Okay? Good. Because that tells me that you're sticking to your stop losses, you're controlling your downside risk, you're focusing on your risk-reward ratios, all the things that I teach to help become a consistently profitable trader. That means that you achieved all of those things and you focus on all of those things, and that's why you got stopped out and you kept your loss small. For those that bought this in here, held through this down move, and ended up making money on the trade, you may think you made the right trade and you made money, congratulations, but it was the wrong trade. You should have gotten stopped out here, okay? Because I want you to control your downside risk. Let's do a quick little exercise. Let's say you got long at $2.60. Okay, that's right here. Okay, so right here. Let's say you got long right here at 260. Okay, if you held this all the way down to the low, which is 215, you were down 17% at the time of that trade. When this stock went all the way down to the low, you were down 17%. In order for you, that's hard. I don't ever want to see anybody hold the stock 17% against them. That's number one. That's bad. That's poor risk management. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the risk-reward ratio. I always say it's got to be a minimum of 1 to 2, preferably 1 to 3, meaning whatever you're willing to risk, you're going to be making 2 to 3 times that if you're right. If you're risking 17%, that means to be 1 to 3, you need to make 51% if you were right. Now, in order for you to risk 17% to the downside, to make 51% on the upside, this stock would have had to have gone to $3.90. Not really that much of a realistic move, considering the flow and everything with this stock and the game plan that we had with this stock. That was never an option or a game plan for us. Okay, so if you held this all the way down and you were down 17% and you did not take your loss when your loss was still only 15 cents, if you entered at 260 and you exited at 245 or 240, okay, when the stock made a new low at 240 and you took a 20-cent loss, you only down, I don't know what percentage, I don't know what percentage that is, but well under 10%, okay? That's the right trade. Okay, that means you're controlling your downside risk and you're not letting a loser get away from you, because just as easily this stock could have rolled itself over and you could have been selling at $1.75 and taken a massive loss in TRXC for no reason. Okay, so just because you got stopped out on erratic trading action that nobody could have foresaw coming, yes, it's frustrating, but it was the right trade. The stock did everything you look for in the morning when a stock gaps up, okay? And I will make that trade 100 more times if I see it in the next 100 days, okay? And at the end of it all, I'm going to come out profitable because it's what you look for. And if this happens 100 times, if the stock does this, I will get stopped out 100 times, and I will control my downside risk, because you should never be holding a stock 17% against you. Okay, so if you did hold that all the way against you and you ended up making money on the way up, let's think about it, guys. The stock closed, let's say the stock closed at, let's see, 281. Okay, let's call it 280. All right, if you bought it at 260, that means you made 20 cents, but you held it 45 cents against you when the stock was down at the low. That's horrendous risk-reward ratio on a trade. You're risking 45 cents to make 20 cents. That does not make sense. You will not be a consistently profitable trader trading that way. That's why I say if you got stopped out, you made the right trade, and the guy that held on to it throughout the whole day and held on to this entire downside move, he made the wrong trade. It just so happens this time it worked out in his favor. Okay, but you're better off for the longevity of your trading career to be consistently profitable, sticking to your stop losses, sticking to your rules, and keeping your losers small and managing your risk accordingly. And that's what I want you to take away from this TRXC. And that's how you can lose money and still make the right trade. Okay, so don't think that you did something horribly wrong if you got stopped out in this TRXC this morning, because most people that bought the stock in here would have gotten stopped out. Day traders, at least. Okay, that's a large move down that would scare off a lot of people. And if you got stopped out, good. Okay, that means you're sticking to your rules and you're keeping your downside and you're keeping your losses small, and you're managing the risk to the downside. Okay, so don't get too down on yourself for that trade. Okay, and if you are one of the people that held on to it throughout that entire downside move, you got lucky this time. It worked out in your favor. Congratulations on the trade. You made money, but please stick to tighter stop losses. I don't ever want to see people holding a stock 17% against them. All right, and those are the lessons I want you to take away from TRXC today. Okay, so the downside risk, the stop losses, controlling, minimizing losses on how you can actually make the right trade and still lose money. That happened this morning in TRXC. And don't let one trade affect your decision making in another. Just because you got stopped out in the morning does not mean you cannot buy the stock back in the afternoon if the trade setup gives you that type of entry after it broke through 250. You can see here when it broke above 250, 250 started holding support right in here, and that could have given you a little bit of a trade in the afternoon. Okay, so those are the two lessons I want you to take away from today's trading in TRXC, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.